These days, life can come at you pretty fast. And with all the advancements in digital technology coming a mile a minute, it can be overwhelming, especially if you're trying to build a business or juggle a family. Or maybe you've got a milestone coming up, like a birthday or a wedding, or even the holiday season. Well, all of that stress can compound and cause major problems down the road if it's not taken care of. So in this video, I am going to break down 7 techniques for stress relief and self-care. Stay tuned. But before we dive into some of those techniques, let's actually discuss what stress is and what it does to the body, more importantly. When you're overwhelmed with stress, like I said, it culminates and it starts to show up in places where you don't want it to. And this goes far beyond just muscle tension or headaches or a bad attitude. When you're overwhelmed with stress and that leads to fatigue and so forth, it can actually start to develop in your body as disease. That's why it's called dis-ease. If you get stressed to a point of no return, your body can't combat it anymore. So it starts to hold on to these receptors because you're constantly in a state of fight or flight, as the case may be. But more often than not, you're in the defensive pose because you're so stressed out. It's actually burning your brain receptors and your stress receptors. Your nervous system's all over the place. What we want to do is really knock that down and to make sure it doesn't accumulate in your system to the point where, like I said, of no return, where it starts to really develop into problems that you can't come back from. Tip number 1, breathe. Breathing, we take it for granted because that's something that just comes naturally. If you're not breathing, you're dead, right? But there's something to be said for controlled breaths. And this is a great tip from the firefighter department. And I actually got this from Chris Hemsworth, his Limitless series, when he was trying to do some of the longevity exercises on that show. They discovered that firefighters use something called box breath. It is a series of inhalation, hold, and exhalation, kind of like a box. So it's 4, 4, 4, 4. And we're going to walk you through that right now. But what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to mitigate the amount of stress that the firefighter is under before they actually go into a burning building. So, or, when they are inside it as well. But it's a response to the overwhelming stress, and it's supposed to regulate your system. So let's try it now. Number 2, exercise. Exercise, and specifically weight training, is my go-to for stress relief. Now, whatever your exercise component is that you like to do that, because the last thing you want to be doing is adding more stress to your system if it's something you don't enjoy doing. So when I say exercise, that could be swimming, that could be dancing, that could be hiking, whatever you enjoy doing. Myself, like I said, I enjoy lifting weights. I enjoy hitting the heavy bag, especially for a stress reliever and a cardiovascular component. Taking up boxing or kickboxing is an excellent way to keep your stress in check. Get out in nature. Not getting enough fresh air or sunlight starts to really weigh in on the system, and you'll notice that in the coloring of your skin gets paler. You'll get the darker circles under your eyes. You're not getting enough vitamin D. Vitamin D comes from the sun, and it naturally absorbs into your system. But if you're not getting enough of it, then it can lead to a lot of different problems. So another great tip, one of your better bets, is to get outside and get into nature. That doesn't mean you have to go all the way to the beach or climb a mountain or anything like that. Go in your backyard. Just step outside onto your front porch. Any of those kind of things, but make sure you're actually outside. Just opening a window helps to get fresh air in, but you want to get the elements on your skin and to feel them throughout your system, and just really be present at that time. Contrary to popular belief, massage doesn't relieve toxins or anything like that, but what it does do is it circulates the blood flow through muscles that may be trapped with a great deal of tension or wear and tear. Think about it. You're sitting in a chair all day and you're slumped forward like this. It's going to knot up your shoulders and cause tension, which eventually will lead to headaches and so forth. So what you want to do is get a professional set of hands in there, or your significant other. You know, that costs nothing. It's like maybe a deal on a favor later on. I don't know. But, or, you know, there's tools that you can use to get in there, but you really can't relax as much if you're trying to do self-massage. So really take some time out of your busy schedule, book a massage. Number 5 on our list is meditation. Hear me out, okay? When I say meditation, it doesn't mean that you have to go into some deep guided practice that's very religious or, you know, very structured. All I'm trying to say is square away some time for yourself in a quiet corner and just be at one with your thoughts. No cell phone, no TV, no distractions. Just sit in silence and see what comes up for you. And eventually, you know, if you got so much running through your head throughout the day, if you take a minute to quiet down and just calm your thoughts, it'll be much more helpful to help you to discern what is actually causing you all this stress. So give it a try. Journaling helps you to relieve stress because, as much like I said with the meditation, it helps you filter your thoughts. It helps you come up with the why behind what it is that is actually overwhelming you and bothering you and stressing you out. The easiest way to do this is just to get some journal or notebook. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be if you want it to be, but just free write. Just take time out of your day, maybe at the end of the day, or start your day with it, and just free write all the things that you're feeling, everything that you are trying to accomplish, and everything that's getting in the way of that. And again, it's going to be a structure that will help you to discern, you know, are these stressful elements really something I should be worrying about, or is it something I can just sweep to the side? And my final tip for stress relief and self-care, especially during the busy season, like the holidays, or if there's an event coming up in your life, or even during, you know, busy season at work, say no. It's okay to say no, and it's okay to set up boundaries for yourself. If you are overwhelmed and you find that you are giving so much and you're not being, you know, they're not reciprocating, it's sort of an energy suck, right? So it's like they're energy vampires, and there's only so much energy you can give other people without it being reciprocated. It starts to drain you. So it's like, you know, people are sort of sucking your essence out of you, and if that's not being put back by yourself through some of these self-care techniques, eventually it's going to become so depleted, you're going to run into a wall. And I heard a great quote the other day. I believe it was from Tony Robbins. I'm not sure, but people pleasers will do so much for others that they forget to do for themselves until there's a crisis. And that's the only way that they're going to start focusing on themselves, is when there's a crisis involved. So don't wait for a crisis. Put your foot down. It's okay to say no. You don't have to do everything for everybody. Just start taking care of yourself. It's like if you're on an airplane and the masks come down, and you're supposed to put the mask on yourself before the other person, because if you don't, then you're both down, right? So just think of it in those terms, because if you start to get drained too much, you're no good to anybody, just like the airplane analogy. So those are 7 tips and techniques for stress relief and self-care. Trying some of them and get the relief that you need to get through your day. And let me know in the comments which one worked for you, or if you have some other tips for people, because we all get stressed out and we all need some help along the way. So I hope that this video helped you out, and we'll see you next time.